Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States and the Democratic nominee for president, just fielded questions from undecided and persuadable voters in this key battleground, Pennsylvania. One of those questions was how exactly a Harris presidency might be different than a Biden presidency. The vice president told The View earlier this month that she couldn't think of anything that she would do differently, that she would just run it back, essentially. She later revised that, and here's what she had to say tonight.
My administration will not be a continuation of the Biden administration. I bring to this role my own ideas and my own experience. I represent a new generation of leadership on a number of issues and believe that we have to actually take new approaches.
Some voters, though, might ask, you've been in the White House for 4 years, you were vice president, not the president, but why wasn't any of that done for the last 4 years?
Well, there was a lot that was done, but there's more to do, Anderson. And I'm pointing out things that need to be done, that haven't been done, but need to be done. And I'm not going to shy away from saying, hey, these are still problems that we need to fix.
You know, it strikes me what's interesting about the moment we're in right now is that we in the media are treating Vice President Harris like we treat a normal politician, and we're critiquing her answers, and we're talking about, well, she could have said this differently, she could have said that differently. Meanwhile, the Republican nominee literally is talking about liberals being the enemy within, talking about using the military to go after these people. His defenders say, oh, no, he's talking about going after illegal immigrants, or he's going after mobs in the street. And Trump will say, no, no, no. I mean, going after the Pelosi's, going after Adam Schiff, going after Democrats. And these campaigns are in two different universes.
Yep. You know what is a great example of that, Jake, is on that stage tonight, Vice President Harris called Trump a fascist, something she has not done before. Obviously, she's only affirming what General Milley, the
former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
That Trump handpicked to be the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and General John Kelly, who was Donald Trump's longest-serving chief of staff. He had several of them, obviously, had called him. That's why she was asked that question by Anderson. And the former president is responding tonight. He just posted on Truth Social, and I think we have what he said. He's saying that because of her polling, that she's warped, and that she is calling him Adolf Hitler now. That is what he says. She's increasingly raising her rhetoric, going so far as to call him.
She did not say that.
Now, I should note, she did not call him Adolf Hitler. She said he's a fascist. J.D. Vance did once liken him to question whether or not he was America's Hitler. But just to be clear on what she did say tonight, but it does show how Trump is taking what she said on stage tonight and claiming she said that. It's not what she said, but she is trying to drive that message home. And some people may say, actually, immigration is a bigger deal. The economy is a bigger deal. I think she's trying to remind voters about this because, as I was noting earlier, Betsy DeVos, one of Trump's cabinet secretaries who resigned because of January 6th, is now in donor meetings with him. It shows just how short-lived people's memories can be.
I also wonder why he has time to write a Truth Social post and not come here to talk to voters.
I don't think it's an issue of time, right?
Oh, you don't think so? No, but seriously, I mean, there is a lot of frustration in Harris's world that they feel like this is asymmetrical political warfare.
Well, it's not just Harris's world. I mean, I heard from a Republican tonight saying why, Donald Trump wouldn't sit down with these voters and answer their questions, and nobody is saying, well, Donald Trump didn't have a three-point plan on, student debt.
Right, but we did. We talked about the fact that he doesn't have he only has a concept of a plan and so forth.
I just think that's the reality of this country. There's a large swath of this country that they're fine with what Donald Trump is saying that he's going to do. Mass deportation, for example, is the plan, right? Tariffs that pay for everything, that is the plan, according to Donald Trump. And a lot of this country is just fine with that. This is the difficulty that Vice President Harris has, is that you have to address both the need of, the legitimate need, honestly, of some people in this room tonight who they just want to know, like, what is my life going to be like, right? And maybe they don't like what Donald Trump has to say, but they just want to know what her answer is. But then there's a whole swath of people who they're like, oh, what Trump is saying, that sounds good to me. I agree, it's asymmetrical, but that is the race that she is running right now. Yeah. And that is why it's so hard for her to navigate.
It's also interesting because Democrats who are texting us all saying, oh, I wish she had done this, I wish she had done that, I wish she had done that. Republicans, Donald Trump comes out and says, we have an enemy within and we need to send the military after them.
Yeah.
Republicans are coming up with ways in which they have to create another reality in which he didn't say what he said.
To justify it. I mean,
Yeah.
they are justifying it as well.
It is interesting. Now, Jon Stewart, and admittedly, this was before the CNN town hall, but Jon Stewart did address this issue of whether Harris is being held to a different standard here. Let's listen.
God, this is what gets us to the ultimate problem, which is this. Is any of the Trump says real? How are we supposed to understand what's and what isn't? Kamala Harris, she's got to have an 80-page presentation on exactly how this opportunity economy is going to function and how it's going to be paid for. Meanwhile, the standard for Trump is emotional vicinity.
Yeah, I just say, listen, Jon Stewart, did he forget the Trump administration, how Trump governed? So I would say, look at the blueprint. You want to see a blueprint for the Trump presidency? How did people, what do they feel about the Trump presidency that he ran 4 years ago? People feel very good about it. Every poll retrospectively say they feel much better than they do about the Biden-Harris presidency. So if you're looking at the blueprint for who's going to have a better next 4 years, people overwhelmingly favor the Trump presidency over the Biden-Harris administration. Pretty clear.
Kendra?
Well, I was just going to say a couple things. One, Trump walked in with an Obama economy. He rode the coattails of the president who made the economy great before he walked in. So that's point number one. Point number two is Trump didn't even show up last night. I could not name a single policy that the former president stands for. And Kamala Harris did talk about her policies last night in a way that, you know, maybe could have been a little bit more crisp. But the fact is she talked about housing. She talked about, you know, the sandwich generation. She talked about the issues that voters do care about at the end of the day. I can't name a single policy that Donald Trump actually stands for besides, you know, going out there and bashing everybody, including former four-star generals.
Trump did do an event yesterday with a host of people, including Tucker Carlson, David, who talked a lot about spanking girls. Let's listen.
There has to be a point at which Dad comes home. Dad comes home. And he's pissed. When Dad gets home, you know what he says? You've been a bad girl. You've been a bad little girl, and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now.
Yeah, look, I have no idea what the hell he's talking about right there, John, right? I don't think it's, I mean, I have no idea. I can't defend it. I don't even know what he's talking about. Nothing. Got nothing for you. But I will talk about last night and Kamala Harris's poor debate performances, and I think it was an unmitigated disaster.
But the point is, so you think that Tucker Carlson's saying that it works at odds with the message you'd rather see getting out?
Listen, I'd rather see the message that Donald Trump had this past weekend, right, when he's going to, you know, working at McDonald's like a regular person. Listen, what's that?
Arnold Palmer.
Listen, I'd rather see any message than that last night, right?
Right.
I like to see Donald Trump out connecting with people, the OTRs. Donald Trump is incredibly good at one-on-one retail politics. People love him. I think that works in barber shops, talking to real people, hearing their concerns. I think that's very, you know, his best format. I don't think Tucker Carlson's the best spokesperson for Donald Trump. I think let Donald Trump speak for himself.
Kendra, very quick answer on that, then I want to end on one poll number.
It's disgusting. It is absolutely horrible. I mean, Donald Trump has been accused of sexual assault multiple times before. The fact that this is even being brought up as part of a campaign should hopefully turn off women voters across the country. It's awful.